Okay, so I'm still getting used to Twitch, and it looks like I've forgotten again to introduce myself and put on my introduction screen. And I can't quite see where the chat is. Where would the chat be? Maybe it just... Is it somewhere in here? If you just amuse yourselves. Oh! Salut Antoine! Passe de bonne soirée avec ta famille. Ça va? Oui, je suis le un peu. I'm just a little bit confused. Oh wow, hey Jane, thanks for saying a quick hi. My brain's literally just gone complete fuddle and melt as I'm still trying to get used to all of these little places on Twitch to look at, and I don't know where to set my eyes. Confused, Antoine, my brain just switched off. Confondu. Okay, so I haven't done my introduction screen, and that's fine. I didn't have time to get my image carousel set up. That's okay. These are all things I can improve for the next stream as I learn. This is Twitch stream number 2. And yeah, how weird that the name of the stream hasn't changed either. Oh, there we go. I wonder if that's updated it now. Oh, there we go. That's updated. Hi, Oliver. Thanks for stopping in. I was really hoping to be a little bit more organised than last week. Not to be. But I'm here. Oh, gosh. I haven't quite got used to this, this muddle. Being organised is overrated. You have to click done. Yeah, that's what I've literally just done that now to change the stream info. It's literally, there's so many things to look at. My eyes are confused as to where to set them. And I wish I could just grey out the areas that I don't need. Hopefully this is recording on Twitch as well, that it will save this time, because it didn't save last week. Right. I'm going to carry on. Yeah, I'm using OBS, and I was just trying to, in the sort of left-hand corner, sort out a carousel of images where I could do like a rotation of my artwork, just in case somebody wanted to see the type of work I do. Today I'm going to carry on with this little illustration. And the other thing I promised myself was I'd get my reference images ready. I also haven't done that. I might just quickly grab some up on my phone as reference images for colours, so that I've got some colours to work with for the frog, the damsel dragon fly, the trees and the background. Oh, thanks, Jane. I was looking. It's from Our Planet Week this year. I think I mentioned it was 2024, but it was actually the one from this year. This has been a very long year so far. And this is the wild. And what I've got is, I like the fact that I've got an observer. We'll call that Bugman, which is likely to be Oliver in the background. Little Oliver, as a kid, looking at the frog, or maybe looking at the dragonfly. Looking at the frog, and the dragonfly is also there, wondering what's going on. Or something, some sort of interaction between the three of them. Who's looking at who? And maybe some extra bugs could be added somewhere else, like my limited knowledge of bugs are butterflies, beetles, ants, birds, bees. So I'm literally going to just talk amongst yourselves, amuse yourselves, just pick out some pictures that I can find online for colours of the animals. Or does that really matter? Maybe I should just go with my regular colours and just wing it. Although I did want to show people how to add an image, but I can do that without grabbing something, I suppose. If I had prepared something earlier, I would have added it to either my Photos app or my Files. And in here I would have grabbed some sort of image where I could just select it and then it would populate the colour scheme of the image, and then in my image panel, my colours panel, I'd have a lovely selection of colours. But instead of that, I'm going to grab some older colours that I store. I have lots and lots of lovely colours. Yvie 2025, for example. Lots of muted tones. And funny enough, a lot of these are colours that I was trying to figure out for my spare room. That's been redecorated so I could use that as an art space for me. Oh, we've got a lesson from Oliver. Scientifically speaking, bugs is only those members of the Hemiptera order, but bugs in common speak is used to mean invertebrate. Thank you for that, Oliver. I don't think that will stick in my mind today. I might have to refer back to it on another time. Before I forget, I'm Yvie Johnson, and I'm an Adobe community expert, supposedly. I use Adobe Fresco for practically all of my artwork. I love using them to draw with the raster, the pixel brushes. I love how they feel, and it feels like I'm literally painting or drawing, sketching, as I used to do. Now I get to do it all from this little iPad, and when I've got myself a little bit more settled, I'll be able to show more of my artwork of what is possible. Right, I need to choose some colour reference ideas. Oh, I like that one. Got some pinks. We're coming into autumn now, so I'm going towards the... I'm leaning towards autumnal style. Oh, don't you worry, Oliver. It's fantastic that you have all this. You need to share it with people. You can't hold all of that to yourself, surely. All of that knowledge. Oh, so addendum. Well, more invertebrates in the phylum Arthropoda. Do you remember me mentioning earlier that I was really kerfuddled about reading and drawing and thinking and all at the same time? And you're throwing these tongue twisters at me. Okay, which one was it? Which one did I say I liked? It was autumnal. I do need some browns. I need greens, browns, blues, pinks. That's held out. So if I just have a layer where I can just, with the vector brush, because they do hold a steady colour. Don't worry, I annoy Sean with science terms as well. That's Oliver. We all annoy Sean with our little quirks, don't worry. And there you go, Jane's learning something. I rarely use the vector brushes, but they are useful for just adding a palette straight onto my page. And then it was browns I wanted as well. Let's go with that one. It's a nice brown. Lighter. Do let me know if my voice drops out. I've added the microphone to a boom arm and I cannot get it any closer because it's above me. And I don't know whether me looking down at my iPad affects the fact that the microphone above me. Ah, nice. Plenty loud enough. Good, good, good. Right, I need some greens. Let's have that green and that one. And I need some hints of pink. And red. Just to throw in some... I know a palette's supposed to be 5, but I can't work with 5. I'm not very good at sticking to these sort of rules. Ooh, that's nice. Yeah, actually, so Oliver says it's normally noise gate in OBS that cuts people off when they're speaking. I actually turned off the noise gate in my Rode microphone settings. Oop. Okay. There's just too many nice colours. Got the coral. I'm loving coral at the moment. Okay. Let's go with those. Let's go back to my brush. So I've got some colours that I can stick right up in the corner. And what I was thinking of wasn't necessarily a bright sunny day, it was actually more of a dawn or dusk style, so the sun's low. So we have more golden tints of colour coming through from the sun, because that way the sun can and maybe come through the trees sideways. Make life more difficult for myself. Jane says, perhaps you could do with my lapel microphone pins to my t-shirt. Now that I've just invested in this thinking thing, you want me to get another one? I like the fact that it is above me. I don't have to worry about because last week it was precariously balanced on my cushion next to my iPad to get it away from the computer, because I've got everything sort of balanced around me on the bed. Yeah, it's on a boom arm, Oliver. So I'm using the Rode NT USB Mini, or Rode Mini NT USB. I didn't get the specific arm for that because it was a lot more expensive. I got a much cheaper version. And it works really well, it's just that it's attached to the shelf 20 centimetres above my head. So it just can't go lower than the shelf, much lower than the shelf, so I can't pull it down. If I was at a desk, it would be brilliant. It would be like higher and to the side of me. I got that because Uma mentioned it, actually. My sister, I didn't buy it, my sister bought it for me. But I bought the boom arm recently. And it's not necessarily an investment I would have made. I was quite happy with my very cheap microphone on my earphones. But then, listening back, I'm like, gosh, the sound on this is really awful. James says, I'd best not mention my microphone cost £12 for two. Listen, yours sounds great and it works. So, and is that the lapel microphone? I don't know, maybe I just wanted it to look right. My setup. A little bit of ego sort of seeping through. You'll have to let us know what they are then, Jane, please. And Oliver, who doesn't ever stream and doesn't speak, has actually got a higher end Rode arm. Oh, because you wanted the mount that goes in the cable hole in your desk. But do you have a microphone on the end of it? Yeah, I understand that, Jane. I can't get on with my boom arms due to how I move my arms. Oliver seems to have all the gear. The Rode Pod mic. We'll hear your voice at some point. Okay, right. I wonder, I should still be finishing off the sketches, and then and then getting the colouring. So if I just try and get some of these trees softened out, get the right colour. Get confused with which tree is which. So let me just soften some of these out, get this sketch ready. This isn't my normal way of working, and I don't know why I've decided to do something I don't normally do. It just felt like I'm in a new era of streaming, let's try something different, and so everything changes. Well, Oliver's saying Uma's heard your voice, and Tony Harmer. The select few, or two. Maybe you could do a tester demo for us about how you sound, and we'll let you know if it's appropriate for streaming. Only kidding. That'd be weird. So as I might have mentioned last week, I'm trying to improve my portfolio for KidLit drawing, KidLit art, and it just occurred to me I really should, if I could focus on that while streaming, it would actually help. That would give me the incentive to work on KidLit art, because generally when I'm like left to my own devices, I tend to just draw what I feel comfortable doing, which is portraits. Well, in saying that, I've actually got some projects I am trying to work on as well, so they are portraits, but they are portraits of a certain kind. I mentioned last week they're gods and goddesses who are disabled. So yeah, this is the reason I'm doing KidLit art at the moment, is simply just to improve my portfolio. And if I can glean knowledge from community and share knowledge at the same time, then that would make it marvellous. I don't know many of us who do actually do KidLit art, come to think about it. Oh, Oliver says, in my view, I have a voice for silent movies. Do you know, it's funny because I didn't realise that I did realise, but I forget. I feel like when I talk, I slip into a speech impediment, which it might just be laziness in eloquence. Laziness in my, what's the other word for speaking? Enunciation. My northern roots come through, and I drop all of my T's, and I wonder how anybody can possibly understand what I'm saying. So Jane says, Adam Ming, 10-minute artist on Substack, is good for resources and KidLit. Ah, right. Yeah, you know, I think I've heard his name recently, so I will definitely give him a look up. How am I doing these trees? I think I'm doing some sort of Escher style tree thing where they're all in front and behind each other. Which could be interesting. And I'm always a little bit too, not anxious, what's the word? I say that a lot, what's the word? Impatient to get to the colouring stage. Oliver says, I'm not northern enough for silent twos. Okay, that's, oh, there's a few here. Peculiar crisscrossings. Wrong side of Manchester. Which is the wrong side of Manchester? Surely not the south side. West, east. Jane's east. Never eat shredded wheat. Jane's west of Manchester. Do you guys still do that? I still have to go never eat shredded wheat just to get my east from my west. But I don't have to do that with north and south. I come from Cheshire. Oh, do you? Didn't realise that. So I know you're much further south now, aren't you? Milton Keynes? Not far from my brother. Unless you're not in Milton Keynes. Okay, oh, let's make that a little bit more obvious. These are very rounded, aren't they? They sort of remind me of Catch the Pigeon. What was that animation that had the song Catch the Pigeon, Catch the Pigeon? I'm not going to sing it. And the way they drew the art, everything was this sort of rounded, lovely roundedness to it. So Jane says, I'm originally from Nottinghamshire, north of the county near Derbyshire. Yeah. More Midlands than Northern, definitely. I have a branch of ancestors from Nottinghamshire. Well, it is literally the border between Nottinghamshire and Derbyshire, where Bakewell is. Shardlow, Bakewell, that area. Depending on what census I was looking at, they would literally write they were from Derbyshire or Nottinghamshire. Northamptonshire, as it's now called. Northamptonshire is posh. That's where they're holding the rugby at the moment. My brother went to watch a match there last week. I think it was the Brazil, South Africa for the Women's World Cup. I don't think I've ever been to Northamptonshire though, knowingly. Right, I think I'm quite happy with that. Got my trees in. Okay, that leaf in the front I will sort out at some point. Let's just turn it down a bit. And then let's just get some... Let's get this character in. I want to see what I can turn him into. Now Oliver, I have no idea what you look like. So when I say this is going to be a little Oliver, a mini Bugman, please do not feel offended if he really doesn't look like you. In spirit, it's a mini Oliver. Oh! Hey Alessandra! Thank you for joining. It's Alessandra's birthday tomorrow, everybody. Oh, what about Oliver? So this character I'm about to draw here is going to be... it's a boy, because this is a children's sort of illustration piece, and as our Oliver is resident Bugman, I've decided this is going to be little Oliver. So, but I've no idea what big Oliver looks like to compare it to. He's going to be hidden by the binoculars anyway. So let's get some big binos. Cannot draw circles. Maybe they should be less circular. I like the fact that I can probably have little eyes in there. You know. Trying to get the direction of them. And I can probably give him some there we go. And a wee little nose. I suppose these are going to have a little I'll draw that thick here because I'm going to turn it into a bit of a casing. And then some hands holding it, maybe one little finger coming up. Has these counting fingers on his fingers, what you can see. Oh, Antoine's back? Or is Antoine just still eating pizza? Tu manges encore, Antoine? Oliver says, my avatar everywhere is a picture of me. I'm pretty sure your avatar has you looking like a little elf. So I'm effectively drawing a wilderness elf with binos. Okie doke. Little... Don't have to draw so much of the fingers actually because they're going to be hidden. But he's going to have these little wrists here. Maybe cufflinks. This is on the fly. I'm just trying to get a little outfit going for wee Oliver. Big little face. Got a little cap on. It'd be hard to wear a cap, wouldn't it, actually? No, if you've got binos on, you can wear a cap. It's just the drawing it might be a little bit funky. Oliver says, I mean, I essentially am a little elf. Okay, let's give him a proper wilderness cap type thing. You can have a little feather in the side. Okay, what's he leaning on? He'll probably have some shrubbery leaves sort of camouflaging him somewhat, so I probably don't need to worry too much. about what he's leaning on, but he's probably got some sort of rock that he's perched on here, perched behind to lean his little elbows on. I'm just, if you can't see me, but I'm actually sort of imagining myself and my elbows are more outwards to hold. I've literally just looked at the sky in front of me and the moon is directly in front of me. A first quarter moon or a half moon. Awesome. Yeah, so elbows would be further out, especially sort of to hold up a heavy pair of binoculars. We've had tons of rain, Jane, and now it's just sort of blown over, and it's a beautiful pinky clouds and a clear, completely clear rest of the sky. And I've literally just noticed this gorgeous slither of the moon right in front of me. Now, I like retro stuff, so what design does Oliver have on his t-shirt? Is it going to be some sort of rock band or Star Wars? Are you a Star Wars fan? I don't know anything about Star Wars. I probably shouldn't even attempt anything to do with Star Wars. Ooh, maybe E.T. or Goonies. Goonies would be good. Made the hands super big. I was trying to get some sort of what's the word when you sort of zoom thing going, but that doesn't really work. I have to make these hands a wee bit smaller. Hello, Clever. Hi. You're my very first raider. How exciting. I have no gizmos to know what to do with. I'm just staring at my screen, just thinking, now what happens? Oh, and I'm your first raid as well. Oh, fantastic. You were my first raid last week. So I'm just trying to draw a little wilderness scene, and this little man with the binos is little Oliver, I've decided. And I'm just trying to figure out what a little detail can go on his, I don't know, is it a long sleeve t-shirt maybe? Or no, we'll do a short sleeve t-shirt over a long sleeve sort of shirt. Type thing. It was a sort of style I noticed when I was a kid that boys sort of seemed to get away with, and there just wasn't the and I wanted that style, but there wasn't the clothing for me to be able to have, because everything was always too short and too skimpy for me. Clothing for girls was just thinking awful when I was a kid. My way of drawing clever is I sort of, I don't use references, and it's probably a really bad thing to not to do, but I like to just figure it out, see what happens. It's not how I was taught by any art teacher throughout my sort of drawing life, but anywho. So little lad is balancing his little elbows on some rocks. Oh, thank you, Clever. Yeah, Clever, your mazes are amazing, but I also I'm confused as like why are we looking at mazes? Are they like a puzzle? Like you get in a puzzle book to work through? I haven't understood the maze sort of dedication. Foreshortening on this arm, it's fine. And then this one could probably be just a bit more elongation. So you got a broken wrist. Let's try again. Okay, So means that the hands are probably going to be hidden. Wrists come out a wee bit into the hands. It will make more sense when I get the colouring in, I think. So Clever says, I'm making them to use on my printer to keep the ink flowing. That is real dedication to keeping your printer alive. I print something colourful each week to be sure my printer is working well. And for fun, I started colouring the mazes. Gosh. I just asked my Tom, can you turn the printer on? And I just hope and pray that it works. And if it doesn't, I tell Tom off. Don't know why I've got this need to have a little finger poking up, but I do. And then this one, again, the wrist. Probably needs to be thinner. Much closer to the side. There we go. That hand looks super long. It's try and give a bit more definition here. There we go. And then bend the wrist out. Getting there. Okay. So tell you what, it's not easy having a set sort of size brush. So my brush is at size 26 of the soft chalk, and normally I'm very much I use some sort of brush that gives me really fine lines that I can then thicken, and I'm not working in that, so it's weird for me to actually be drawing thick lines and then just constantly erasing to get this really soft rounded edge. Okay, so I want to work on these bino eyes. Try and make them a similar size at least. So if I start with the casing thickness first. Do you know, the reason I'm sort of been really inspired to do more of this is because I've actually brain come back online, subscribed to a children's magazine called Aquila, and I think I've mentioned this before, and I just absolutely love the way it's sort of set out and how they sort of tell the stories in a really fun, playful way. And I just thought, you know what, I need to give this a go. Just try doing the prompts that I would normally do, but in a less serious tone and in a more playful tone, because I know I can go quite dark and serious with some of my artwork and focus more on when I say dark, I sort of mean like life, death type what am I trying to say? Life and death sort of concepts where you're questioning life and the meaning of it and your role in this universe and why you're here and what part have you got to play. And I just have that already in lots of projects, and so I feel like I'm pushing myself in a different way and pushing a different part of my brain to play with the same prompts but pushing it in a different direction. I could have used a little nifty tool right here in the bottom corner that, if I pressed it, brings out a little circle option as a drawing aid, and I could have brought that down and brought it into a size so that I have perfect circular binoculars, and I could have done the same, like moved it over, holding the little shortcut touch thing, I can't remember what it's called, and then if I hold it, it sort of goes in a perfect constrain X position across for the other one. But I didn't do that, so let's turn that off. I freehandedly is now a word, drew the wonkiest binoculars. So clever shading. My English is not Englishing today. I haven't used Fresco in too long a time. I think you use quite a lot of tools already, don't you, Clever? I literally only use Fresco, and so I should know all of the tips and tricks of this little tool. I should. And I think it is a lot of fun. I think it's quite straightforward to sort of get to use, get used to. And they do it does now come, I think, with this like if I just click up here at the cog, they have a workspace which turns it into simple and advanced. Advanced would mean that if you have a layer, I just switch that off. If you have multiple layers layered together, that's advanced. Whereas simple, you cannot multiple layer something. You can't stack layers together, you can only have straightforward layers. And it just reduces the tools available so that people can just use a straightforward, I just want to draw and get something out, without all of the fandango mishmash all around it. So it gives you a really simple way of using it. But I just, I love this sort of, I love the advanced part now. Now it's called advanced. I like playing with lots of different tools available. I have far too many brushes. It's like I collect brushes and fonts the way I suppose some people collect shoes and handbags, or Lego, or Star Wars figurines. We all have our little thing. There we go, they look pretty roundish, similar. Try and just smooth that one out a little bit. Now, do we know if Jack's streaming today? I wanted to watch Jack, but I have no way of knowing. Without disrupting my screen. Jack might not be. Okay. Oh, did you? Oh, clever. Was that all the little doodles that you were doing when you did every day for a year? Oliver says, I'm slowly getting better at drawing in Fresco. Oliver, what are you using it for? Are you drawing your animal, the things that you see in nature, or other random stuff? So I've got as far as drawing the binos. I could have had them on an angle so that you could sort of see down the side of them, but then you wouldn't be able to see the full eyeballs in the middle. I might actually move the eyes. Here we go, I'll use this tool. I just pick up all of this. I'm going to move it all to the right. Done. And then pick up this one on the right and move it all to the left, just to make it a bit rounder. There we go. Clever says, I did daily specials where I chose a topic and made one usually bad, probably wasn't, composition. Often like Hamburger Day, World Elephant Day, Striped Socks Day. And the like. I think I remember you doing stuff, but I to be honest, I can't remember all of the topics that you were doing. Jane's going. So Jane says, right, I'm telling myself off. Jane, I'm telling you off as well. You've been up far too late, past your bedtime. Go and lie down, rest well. Thanks for stopping by and visiting. I look forward to seeing you in streaming as well. Thank you, Jane. Take care. Clever says, I went from paper and markers to the iPad and had to stop for my wrists. That's fair enough. Yeah. You know, I have paper and I have all the markers. I haven't got the flat space to work on. So I have a pot of pens and they tend to get lost under my cushions, and the dog jumps on the bed and then he just runs off with a marker or something. And so it becomes chaotic to try and do anything with paper. And obviously an iPad I can keep tilted. And I actually have my iPad resting on a reading cushion so that I have it cushioned underneath my arms as well. Do you know what's lovely? I can hear my son singing in the living room. Right, let's get these eyes. Get these little eyeballs done. I haven't developed a style for KidLit art. I think this is it in the making, is trying to remember to soften what I do. And to really not go into too much detail, because that just sucks me into forever detail. Clever says, I have a few years of works to scan. I need to digitise so I can get rid of the paper. Yeah, definitely. And then you've got at least a nice collection of them online. Or in folders to do something else with them. Because, you know, even if you've done them in paper and pen, you can then further work on them. Which you know already. There's a Dutch artist, I think they're Dutch, Jelke van 't Werpen, I think they're called. I absolutely love their style. Always so much colour and a lot of detail, but again, like, it's detail in terms of content rather than every eyelash. Oh, wrong one. This is looking like a charming work, Clever says. It is fun. Yeah, your own reference library. Oh, take care, Antoine. Bonne nuit. Well, they look like eyes so far. And I do want them looking slightly to the right rather than straight ahead. And I don't want them cross-eyed because that would be weird. So let's try and get this angle. Let's take out that, that's confusing me. Let's try and get this angle bit right. Clever slipping into lurk mode. Ah, for Jane. Sorry, Antoine. Happy lurking, Clever. So try and keep them a little bit more rounded, like little 3/4 boiled eggs is what they remind me of. I suppose with the with all that space underneath the eye, they do look like they're looking upwards a lot more. Let's just reduce that somewhat. Is that too much? It might be actually. No, I think I preferred it the way it was. Let's go back to that. Okay. And then the idea of some eyelashes where it's a bit thicker. This could probably do with being rounded here. Just eyeballing it really. Okay, and then if I want to, I probably just want, I do want a thicker colour the iris rather than thin. And nope, wrong one. Okay, and then where does the pupil go? Probably something like that. To colour that in, how would that look? Just laughing at it myself. I could put a little bit of eyelashes in so we can just tell that they are eyes. Not yet, and not like that probably. Okay, so I've got some colour, and that'll obviously be coloured as well. Right, I'm happy with that. And I'm just gonna do a little bit more on the hat. Not quite sure what these are called, these types of hats. I've seen them before. I think I've seen Wade wear one before actually. Maybe it is a sort of hat that people wear in the woods. That's a little tuft of hair coming through. This will be actually the bino casing, which I probably want to distinguish somehow. And then again, wrong mode. So this is a feather. Well, probably would be darker on the edges, wouldn't it? No, darker in the centre. Oh, yeah, darker on the centre. Not that I know anything about feathers. And lighter towards the end. It's quite hard to do any sort of feather with this brush at the moment. I'm just trying to give a vague sort of semblance of a feather. Probably make life easier for myself by just dropping the size of this brush a wee bit to get into more of the detailed areas. Okay, so that would be like the cap peak. The hair underneath. Casing probably goes a lot lower, doesn't it? Casing probably comes to about here. And similar here. I've got to get a little nose in there somewhere. There. Oop. Just trying to measure with my fingers where the nose would be. That's the nose. Okay. You're relaxing, are you, Alessandra? What painting are you working on? I don't think I like this being so a smaller brush actually, it's losing detail. Okay. Let's have a look. Looks like his little nose is all squished. That right hand needs a wrist bending the other way. Just realised. There we go. Well, I think it looks like a kid holding binoculars, wearing a cap, concentrating profoundly. Just for now, whilst I think about it, I'm going to put some sort of just zigzags on this, just to make it look more '80s. Oh, the rock is sort of there for effect. I'm not sure yet what's going to be there. Okay, so if I take out the background, just move those colours out the way. Take out my background sketch, that's what I'm left with. And I tend to use a whole load of ratios to place things, which means my frog might just have to move actually I could probably do with moving a little bit down. I want this little fella, I just hold that short touch tool and move him down. I want those eyes on that third line, and then they are part of the spiral that goes around the eye. That's done. I want my frog. Do I want him to move down? Yeah, I think his eye could probably do with being... Do I want him further over? So that his eye's in that third as well. Or he goes right in the middle, becomes like, he is the central point really. I don't want it to look like the lad's resting on him though. Maybe I could use the pot. Yeah, if I use the lower part. Then he's actually sat. Oh, I could make him bigger. So he's sat more on the lower third line, but his eye is hitting the middle spiral. And then the dragonfly do I want him to go higher? I like that I actually probably did draw this intentionally. The stalk of the leaf does mirror the line of the right hand spiral. I don't want to lose that tip though. Do I keep him below? That might work better. The bottom part of the that way they're all on different levels. Let's move that out of the way. Bring back my background. That doesn't actually help, but... And what I'll do is I'll just quickly sketch in. My trees are very much the background. I'm just going to quickly sketch in some leaf brushy type. So we have a leaf coming out of, sorry, the stalk and the sort of lily pad, but probably isn't going to be coming out of there, and the foreground foliage sort of makes that like an opening. And then behind that, do some finer sort of stalks and leaves, and might have another lily pad somewhere. Obviously we want him, this lad, to have some measure of camouflage around him as well. As if he's sort of peering in between some long grass. Okay, if I take this background out again. It's a bit too flat, that background, so the longer grass is obviously where he is. Some of it behind him. I should probably have the trees continuing to the right. I'll just double up what I've done. So I'll duplicate that layer and flip it. And then, oh, did it the wrong way, flipped it the wrong way. Go back, sideways, and then move that across to, or maybe I don't need to flip it actually, quite different, aren't they? If I bring that down a bit, or up a bit, I don't think it matters. Have that there as a background just to begin with. Make it fainter. And then where I wanted the background, maybe some clouds. Coming in at an angle. So they can reflect some of the light from the sun from underneath. They can come in behind the trees. There we go. And obviously to the right of the trees it gets darker because that's obviously when we go into the foresty area. Oh, I think we're getting there. And then, I mean, these like the three main characters, but I want to be able to add other vertebrates and invertebrates, bugs and non-bugs. Maybe some eyes poking through and we're not quite sure what they are. Cool. Need to figure out how to draw a frog though. The back leg of that frog just looks a little bit peculiar. Like he's lost the back leg somehow. Right, I'm going to take just a little bit off that leaf because it's bugging me. No pun intended. Just so we can see this frog a little bit better. See what I've got to play with. Let's go to the other layer in the back. Okay. easier for me to see. Oh, that part as well. See what layers there are to play with. Okay, I think that's it for today. Still black and white, still an outline even. Got some colours to play with. Might run those colours through the Adobe Colour app and see if I can get some cohesiveness between them, if I remember to do so. So I believe I'm still recording, and I'm gonna take a quick screenshot of this. Let's do it over there. Oh, where are my screenshot buttons? On this side. Oh, I'm hitting the wrong button. There we go, there's one. And I'll do a zoom up. A zoom in even. There we go. Right, I'm gonna sign off now, guys, and wish you all a good evening, a good weekend, a safe week ahead. Happy birthday to Alessandra for tomorrow. Hope you have a wonderful day. Turning 20, is it? 20 or something? 18? And then hopefully Wednesday I will be streaming again at 7 PM, carrying on again with this piece, getting more of the lines done, and then hopefully bringing in some colour, at least the background and the main characters. So thank you to Alessandra, Antoine, Clever, Oliver, Jane, I think that was it. I'm gonna have to scroll all the way up to the top. Uma's still at her birthday party or some sort of party. I was very grateful for a raid from Clever. That was such good fun. And thanks for the inspiration, Oliver. So here's where I'm going to try something really technical. I'm going to say goodbye, and then I'm going to move on to my end screen. So I have no idea really what time anyone else is streaming. I know Uma's going to be streaming at 3 PM thereabouts UK time tomorrow. And other than that, I couldn't tell you. Merci Antoine. Thank you everybody for your wonderful community gathering thing. Brains not working. Okay. Thank you so much. Bye bye.